So after talking about how he mentions that there are 10 chakras, but only 7 are currently in fashion, so that's what he goes over, I finally opened this PDF on my desktop, pretty much on accident, because I can't tell the difference between lots of photographs, Yoga Markaranda, right? Guess what? I've had the 10 chakras all this time on my desktop for a couple of years. So, that's one of the surprises. And what else is funny is when we went over the pranayama that Krishnamacharya thinks as the top, thinks of as like the top, whatever, 21 pranayama, it came from that same desktop opening of the Yoga Markaranda. And I just only looked at the pranayama. So, here are the 10 chakras. Muladhara, which is the anus, not very high up. I think it's 3 finger widths up. Is Svadhisthana. And then Manipura is at the navel. Which is nice because that one's easy to find. Belly button and where that is. And then there's 2 here, Surya and Manas, M-A-N-A-S. And then the lung heart chakra is Anahata. The very base of the throat, the jugular notch, is Vishuddhi. And then right between the eyebrows is the 3rd eye, and that's Ajna. And then above the throat is Sarasvara. It has it as an H. I've always, he spells this with an H, and he spells this with an I on the end. This was a translation from a 1938 book.
And is this in the PDF of the Yoga Markaranda? Ah.
Well, we have 2 PDFs of the Yoga Markaranda. We have one that is the same translation as that the book came from.
Okay.
So the first PDF I got a hold of is what I most widely share.
Yeah.
And then I got a hold of the book and they added photographs to it.
Got it.
And then this other PDF looked like it was just a copy of the book.
Got it.
But when I actually read the letters that are strung together to make words and sentences, it's a translation of a different copy.
So we could put each PDF up on Patreon for people to download if they want.
Sarasvara. And then there's another one, and it says above the forehead. I don't know if that means at the hairline or if it means a little bit off the top of your head. And that one is called Brahma Guha. Brahma Guha. And I have time to read each description that he wrote, but on my notes here, by focusing on the Muladhara chakra, the body becomes tough. I took just like a positive attribute that he mentioned off of each of them. So Muladhara, the body becomes tough. By focusing on Svadhisthana, I thought this was really interesting. No violence can exist around you. And also no fatigue. So lots of energy and no violence. And remember how we've talked about if you really focus on ahimsa, no violence can happen around you? And it sounds kind of like the same thing. Stay. And then Manipura, in this one, is located at the navel, and it is pure bliss, no mental afflictions. Go ahead.
As you go through this, could you just reiterate what part of the body each one is?
Yes, root chakra or anus. Svadhisthana is this high above. Manipura is the navel. Surya is either this much or this much above the navel. I honestly didn't sort that out yet, but it is mentioned. Manas didn't have a location. I think it's right around the xiphoid process or whatever this area is called.
The bottom of your sternum.
Yeah. And Anahata is the lung or the heart, the center of the chest. The Shuddhi is the base of the throat, the jugular notch. Jackson. Hey. Stay. Sit. Stay. He's like, okay, I'm not. Stay. Stay. Okay. So, Muladhara chakra, the body becomes tough. Svadhisthana chakra, there's no fatigue and no violence. Manipura chakra is connected to the mind. So there's no mental afflictions and there's bliss. Surya chakra, I love this one. There's an amazing shine. So when people have like a really strong aura, that would be an amazing shine. Like your skin glows, you're healthy, you're like visibly lit up. And I was like, of course, because it has to do with the sun. And the sun shines. So that kind of makes sense. Manas chakra has to do with intuition. And when people are like, oh, I had a gut feeling about this, right? And then Anahata chakra, it used to be considered the lung chakra, now most people call it the heart chakra. It has to do with extraordinary strength. And it wasn't specialized which type of strength. So I think if you have physical strength and mental strength, and then you have this like robust shine to you, that it kind of follows that you would just have, all of those combined would be considered extraordinary strength. Hey Adam, will you put Jackson on his coat, even though he's lying down?
He doesn't want to lay over there. He wants to lay over here.
And then the Shuddhi chakra, the base of the throat, is the qualities of youth and enthusiasm. Thank you, Adam. The qualities of youth and enthusiasm. And I think it said eternal youth. But I was like, I'm a little skeptical of the eternal. And then Ajna chakra is right between the eyebrows on this map. And it has to do with full sight, clear sight, knowing what's happening in places that you are not physically. So being able to see all things. And it didn't seem time specific because we were working on that time idea, Sarah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is that like you can see into the past, you can see into the future, you can see what's going on right now in South Africa? And it was like, yes. That's what I got from what I read. Sahasrara chakra is all skills and power. So I think when it's referring to all skills, it's like all of the siddhis, all of the boons of effort. And then Brahma Guha chakra, it said, you have to live it to understand it, and at that point you control destiny. You can change destiny, which kind of makes destiny not a word. Change destiny, that's like a mutually exclusive use of language. But yeah, change destiny. So the three new ones, well, the changes are Manipura and Svadhisthana are both a little bit lower. And then the two main new ones come in between the navel and the lung chakra. And then the last new one is Brahma Guha, up at the top. Which is either at the hairline or a little bit above it. Surprise!
So Sahasrara is